the stream for you guys, and like, I can't stress this enough. I cannot stress how important and how massive this game is for Tottenham Hotspur. We're going in with not the healthiest of leads, but a lead nonetheless. 1-0 is never enough to go to Anfield with. It's going to be a backs against the walls job. You know, Liverpool are going to be on it. They're going to be playing their strongest team with Plymouth in the FA Cup in midweek, and they've got a big game against Everton a week today. But we just have to find something extra in this game. We need to go into the deepest, darkest depths of something and just find some sort of performance. You know, it's worth noting as well, if we do lose by 1 goal, it goes straight to penalties in this game. So I think that does favour us a little bit, because we don't want to be going to extra time. Yeah,
because they probably had the firepower to bring on, and we saw, I know it was a different like scenario, but we saw like when we played Tamworth, as soon as it went to extra time, it was only going to be one winner, and you maybe get the feeling in this one, if we can just drag ourselves through this 90 minutes, if we're losing by a goal, I think we'll definitely prefer penalties than going to extra time. Albeit, Ange said, oh, we might face extra time or penalties in this game. I was like, maybe there is extra time, but I'm pretty sure it goes straight to penalties. So maybe Ange doesn't even know the rules of the semi-final himself. I'm not sure, but all I remember is, unless it's changed, I definitely remember when we played the Carabao Cup a few years ago, semi-final against Chelsea, we drew, and it went straight to pens. No, before. It was under Poch.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and we were at Wembley, and we won the first leg 1-0, we lost the second leg 2-1, and it definitely went straight to penalties. So unless it's changed since then, I'm pretty sure it does go straight to penalties. And so maybe Ange doesn't know the rules, or maybe I'm wrong. But what I would say as well, in their last kind of few home games, Liverpool, in their last few home games, they have had a tendency to kind of go 1-0 down.
There is extra time.
So have they changed it then?
It says EFL clubs voted to scrap extra time in the Carabao Cup before the 18-19 season. For the second leg of the semi-final and final, an extra half an hour will be played before going to penalties should the score remain level.
That semi-final was the 18-19 I'm talking about. So that was the last year they didn't have extra time. Yeah. I see, so there is extra time. So Ange knows the rules better than us, fair enough.
Which you would expect.
You would hope. So there is extra time, which isn't great, but is what it is. Is the rule still stand with away goals after extra time, or is that scrapped? I'm guessing that's scrapped.
I think away goals across the board have been scrapped, haven't they?
Yeah, but there used to be that rule, wouldn't there? That away goals.
That's how we took it to extra time against Arsenal that time with Mido's goal.
Yeah, the rule used to be the away goals were scrapped until after extra time, and then the away goals counted after extra time, which would be a massive benefit to us if that was the case, but I'm guessing that's not the case. In their last few home games, Liverpool have had a bit of a tendency, though, to go 1-0 down. Against Fulham, they went 1-0 down quite early. Man United, they went 1-0 down against... who else was it? Wasn't at home, but against Forest recently, they went 1-0 down quite early. So... they have been conceding a few goals early on in their games in recent weeks at home. So maybe there is a case we can catch them out cold early on if they're not quite on it. But I think knowing Liverpool and knowing the occasion, I'm just going to assume there's going to be a massive wave that we're going to have to face kind of early on. And we're going to have to kind of make sure we ride that wave and make sure that we get through those first 20 minutes unscathed.
I don't know actually what the rule is now, because I'm seeing an article in The Independent on the 19th of December saying any quarter-final match which finished a draw after 90 minutes will go straight to a penalty shootout, and the same is true for the semis.
Okay, so
so everyone's reporting something different. I don't know what the rules are.
Guys, do anyone in the comments know if it goes straight to pens or is it extra time? The comments usually knows best.
Another article in The Independent on the 23rd of January says in the semi-finals extra time will be played.
Oh, for God's sake.
I think it will be played. I think there is extra time.
So there is it's extra time, someone says. And someone else says straight to pens. Oh, you're trolling. You are trolling. I don't know. I don't know if it's one or the other. Either way, let's hope we can do it in 90 minutes. And it'll be a big surprise when we see. But what was I saying? So, yeah, they in their recent home games, they have conceded a few goals. But I'm going to assume that there's going to be a massive wave we're going to have to ride in the first 20 minutes.
100% extra time. I'm looking at the official rules.
The official handbook Ben has got.
Where either semi-final, second leg or final tie goes to extra time.
Okay, so we'll be extra time now. We've seen that for example, when we played Man City at the Etihad, if we'd kind of had to ride away for the opening exchanges, and then once we settled into the game, we really took hold of it. The game, obviously, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium early last season, it was a very, very close game. And once we got kind of control of that game, we did start to create chances, and we did limit Liverpool to really not many chances in that game. So we have to make sure we're defending properly like we did on the weekend, make sure we're getting our clearances in, keeping our concentration, making sure we're working as a team. That's going to be the most important thing going to Anfield, because the crowd are going to be up for it. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a great atmosphere. They're going to be roaring their team on. The amount of times they've seen their team commit a comeback, a stage of comeback in over the years, they'll have full belief that 1-0 means nothing.
The way Liverpool fans are thinking about this coming into it, they think it's going to be a walkover. They think 1-0 is nothing going into at Anfield, and they back themselves to batter anyone at Anfield, not just batter anyone at Anfield. So we really are going up against it tomorrow night.
Into the Lions' Den.
Yeah, absolutely. But you look at it, right, and it's been so much negativity around Spurs over the course of the last 2, 3, 4 months, however long it may be. But right now, I actually think there's some sort of positivity that's going through the club at the moment. It started off that Elfsborg game with the kids coming on and scoring, and everyone was elated with that, and we kept a clean sheet in that game. Yes, you're going to say it was only against Elfsborg, but we backed that up with a win against Brentford, a backs to the walls job, great defensive display. So I think we're going into this with, a bit of a good feeling behind us. 2 clean sheets in a row, one of those clean sheets coming up against one of the really good attacking sides, particularly at home in the Premier League. So I feel like there actually is like some sort of a good feeling Spurs going into this with. Yeah,
and Tottenham will have belief that they can get through this tie, and as well, what I'm certain of is Spurs will have belief they can score against anyone, against any opposition. Whoever they face, whatever kind of stage it's on, they believe that we'll believe we can score goals, and we'll believe we can go to Anfield and we can get goals that we're going to need to get through this tie. And it's important to note, and it's as much as going to Anfield is a daunting task, we don't need to win. We only need to draw to get through this tie. We just need to level the scores. We don't have to go there and win the game. So a lot of people saying I can't see us going to Anfield and winning, and that might be true, but we don't need to. We just need to get the draw, and that's very, very important. That's how crucial that goal was at the Tottenham Stadium, just to give us that little bit of buffer. So it'll be interesting to see how we approach the game. Do we come out flying and try and score early? Do we try and just ride that wave at the beginning, backs against the wall, and try and settle into the game? Either way, it's going to be extremely difficult. We know Liverpool are the best team probably in Europe right now, the way they're playing. But we've already done it against them in one leg, where they had a very, very strong team out there. So that will give us confidence we can go there and go toe-to-toe with them, I'm sure of it. And if we can have the kind of team spirit we had at Brentford going into this game, we defend as a team, as we have done, make sure we're not giving up good chances like we did at the Tottenham Stadium, then there's no reason why we can't feel like we can go there and get the result that's needed to get through this Carabao Cup. There is a part of me that feels like it's just written that we will go through. There's a little part of me that does believe
Come
that.
on!
But there's just a part of me, it just feels like it's just written in the stars. It's just one of those. But
that's why they call you deluded.
Maybe. And it might be. But
to be honest, I feel the same way.
It feels like it's written how the Carabao Cup has gone for us. We've been so good in it, and we've got through, the way we got through against Coventry, how we've beaten Man City, how we've beaten Man United, how we won the first leg, the way we won the first leg as well, the fact that Bergwijn didn't get sent off and he scored the winner and we played so well. The fact that so many things have been going against us, yet we're still in this competition and we're still here. I know obviously it's a different competition. Just reminds me a bit of the run we had in the Champions League, just the way we've just gotten through, just managed to get through these ties. Like maybe we've got another special night ahead of us.
On top of that, and Postecoglou always wins something in his second season.
Exactly, he always wins something.
You talk about going into the Lions' Den, and you talk about really going up against it this weekend, and Liverpool always backing themselves. Do you reckon Ange Postecoglou's got them on the training ground with speakers and you never walk alone?
I don't think he needs to go that far, but I'm sure he'll have the side well prepared, no doubt about it. And what was interesting, listening to him in his press conference again, the Moose, Ian Abrahams, was asking him a question, and he was saying, he asked the question that everyone seems to ask in the press conferences is, going to Anfield 1-0 up, are you going to be a bit more pragmatic? Are you going to, shut up shop? And he's just looked exacerbated, and he said, I don't understand how many times after sitting in my press conference, I don't know if you guys are listening to anything I say or whatever, but people think my philosophy is just to go gung-ho and not care about defence, but my philosophy is to win football matches, and I'm going to go there to set up the team to win and get through this tie, wherever it takes, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go the best way possible.
I feel that we set up the same way as we did against Brentford. Don't let the fullbacks be too adventurous. Keep them on their job, keep them defending, and we spring when we need to spring when the gaps appear for us. And we use Kinski as an out ball to really beat their traps that they're trying to do, because they're going to come out for us. They're really going to come out for us. They need to. They're 1-0 down. So I think there'll be gaps for us that there always is at Anfield. How many times have we gone into an Anfield game thinking, oh, we're not going to get any chances, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's always chances in there for us.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say as well, as much as Liverpool are a brilliant team, don't get me wrong, this is not me saying that it's going to be easy, but I think it's fair to say in the last few weeks they probably haven't been on the kind of form that they were before. I know they've been winning games. They're just such a good team. They can play badly and win. But against Bournemouth, they could have easily dropped points. They dropped points against Fulham at home, and they went down to 10 men against United at home. They weren't great in that game. I know they could have won, but they could have easily lost that game as well. I know PSV was much rested, but they lost that game. Brentford away, that was the Brentford away took 2 last-minute goals to score to win that game and go over the line. So as much as they've maybe showing obviously signs of champions getting these wins, either late in games or whatever, since maybe they beat us 6-3, they then beat West Ham 5-0. Since that kind of run, they just haven't maybe been their most kind of free-flowing selves, I think it's fair to say. And maybe this isn't... They drew a Forest away as well. So maybe there is an opportunity to catch them on an off day, potentially.
And on top of that...
And they lost to us as well.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, though, I just feel like this means so much more to us than it means to them. Mm-hmm. The fan base... Maybe not the players, because they're playing under a new manager and they want to get that first trophy under the belt. But even the players, because you look at the players in our squad, a lot of young kids, right? They're going to be fighting tooth and nail for every single ball. It's going to be a battle out there, and I feel like the Spurs players are going to be well up for it. And we've seen in the Cups, that's what it's been like. We've saved our best performances for the Cup this season. Liverpool probably saved their best performances for the league, and I think that's the first and foremost thing on their mind at the moment. We know this is the biggest game of our season. Liverpool are not thinking of it in that way. If they win the Carabao Cup, then yeah, it's great. They're the holders and they want to win it, but this could shape our season completely. If they win the Carabao Cup and go win the league and go win this and go win that, the Carabao Cup's just going to be some small sort of segment in their season where this could be the main goal in our season.
100%. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm sure they probably have dreams of a treble like Man City did a couple of years ago. But of course, this means a lot more to Spurs. There is a feeling for me that Liverpool clearly have bigger fish to fry. They've got their league challenge. They finished top of their Champions League group, so they're in a good position in the Champions League as well to take anyone on. I feel like with this, as much as I'm sure I have no doubt they're going to go all out to win. I'm sure they're going to give their all tomorrow. There is a feeling that this just means that little bit more to Tottenham, and this is kind of what our season hinges on in a way, and we're going to be absolutely fighting tooth and nail. I just really hope that we don't start the game and they get an early goal and all of a sudden that momentum and pressure piles on us. If they get an early goal, obviously, with the young team we have, is there a chance the heads start to drop and we start to feel like the inevitable is coming? I really hope that doesn't happen. But also, I've said it, and it's been mocked, but even in the losses we've had a lot of the season, apart from obviously the Liverpool game, they've all only been by 1 goal. So there is a good chance, even if we do lose, it might only be by a goal, and that could take us to penalties. So I think there's every chance that could happen. But we got to go there with full belief that, well, look, I think we've probably got to go there and try and win. That's how Ange will try and approach the game. I don't think he's going to go there and try and settle for a draw until maybe the last few minutes. If we are drawing, obviously we'll try and see it out. But I think we are going to go and try there and win. That will be the approach. That's the team we are. We're going to try and score goals. And if we can get a goal in that opening half, that will be massive for us. And that will really give us a platform to try and manage that game. But obviously if Liverpool start strong, they get an early goal, with the crowd behind them, it's going to be tough to kind of overcome that.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we go down, it's true. If we go down 1-0 early, at Anfield, you can, a lot of players
Sucks you in.
Yeah, a lot of players have spoken about it before. How it does suck you in. You feel like sometimes the walls are closing in on you.
Arteta even
in a big game like that.
I remember Arteta was in the documentary, said the one team that he's gone into the game, and obviously he usually goes into games feeling they can win. There's one ground where all of a sudden you get behind and all of a sudden you're looking at players, they're running beyond you, and just the crowd is so loud, you lose concentration, all of a sudden it all gets away from you. And that one ground was Anfield, he said, that one ground that happened to him. And it was just an experience that was so hard to manage. And that is just one
and that's
thing.
why he plays You Never Walk Alone
Exactly.
on the training pitch.
Well, he still has never won there, has he? I think he's got a few draws there, but I don't think he's ever won there. So it's an extremely hard ground to go to. And if we're going to go there, obviously without Van de Ven, without Romero, and out all these other players, we're going to do it the hard way, and that's the only way Spurs know how to do it.
Yeah, and look, it plays into our hands, obviously, that we are 1-0 up, and I am really frustrated because, you look back at that game a month ago, and we should be taking a bigger lead into this tie. That offside was a slither offside. We had other chances to put them away as well.
Porro had that chance. And
yeah,
shit.
Exactly. We were the better team on the day, and I think we were good for more than one goal, and it's just that might be the thing that we might look back on and say, that's what lost us the tie. But
missed opportunity.
Yeah, missed opportunity in the first leg. So it's a shame, but we got to not worry about that, not think about that, and just go to Anfield with full belief and try hit them early. If we get a goal in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sit strong and, take a 2-goal lead into half time, then anything can happen.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great game. Obviously, we'll have a keen eye on what happens tonight as well between Newcastle and Arsenal. That's obviously probably not a foregone conclusion now, given the form of both teams has switched. So we'll have to wait and see. Do you reckon tonight's result has any bearing on the psychology tomorrow?
Yeah, I do actually. I feel maybe not the psychology, but the footballing gods. I feel that if Arsenal go through tonight, we're going to lose, and if Newcastle go through tonight, we're going to win. Because Spurs and Arsenal don't play each other in finals.
No, we
just
don't.
Never happens.
Well, and also if Newcastle do go through, I mean, obviously, look, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but if Newcastle do go through and with the form they're on, is there a good chance there if we do meet them in the final, we can really do something?
There is. I know we've lost against them twice this season, but I still feel in both of those games we gave a really good account of ourselves, and you could see how we could have won those games, maybe because of missed opportunities. And I feel like in a final, it's like basically the bottle jobs final, basically. Maybe not Newcastle, you can say they're bottle jobs, but they did get to final. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, and they lost to Ten Hag.
Yeah, they lost to United. So Newcastle have actually one of the only other big teams that have a longer goal trophy drought than us. So it'll be a massive, massive occasion if Spurs play Newcastle in a final. It really will be, and I think we can do them in a final. But let's not talk about Spurs getting Spurs in a final as of yet. We'll leave that to the cup final preview. But let's focus on the semi-final. Let's focus on getting through. And I also think a lot of fans outside of Tottenham, Liverpool fans, nobody's given Spurs a chance tomorrow to go through, even though we are 1-0 up going into the game.
No one gave us a chance on Sunday against Brentford. Literally,
Yeah.
Well, Carragher before the game, if they don't concede at least 3, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah.
He said at half-time, reportedly, I mean, I wasn't watching that bit, but probably he said at half-time that, don't worry, Dr. Tottenham will turn up in the second half, and that didn't happen. I'm sure everyone's going to be writing us off. I'm sure everyone thinks we're going to go there, be naive and get turned over and lose 3 or 4-0. That's what everyone's expecting. But hopefully we got some tricks up our sleeve. And I think also Trent will be a big miss, because I think in the first leg, Liverpool really didn't threaten until he came on.
Yeah,
and when he came on, it really changed it. And obviously he had a shot clear off the line and he was a massive influence. I actually think, I know as much as maybe defensively, maybe there's going to be less gaps with him out the team, I do think they missed a lot going forward with that ability he has.
And you know what as well, I was thinking about this, about the corners that we were doing against Brentford, right? Bissouma was actually doing a really good job trying to rough the players up, put pressure on the goalkeeper and everything like that. And how many times have we sat here and say Spurs are too nice, Spurs are this, Spurs are that, Spurs are a walkover? But we were anything but that on Sunday against Brentford. And maybe that's kind of something turning within these players, and something to look at, because we really were roughing them up a little bit from those set pieces, particularly like I said, Bissouma, but there's other players that can do that. Danso should be able to do that. So hopefully we can show a bit of a nasty streak tomorrow.
Well, reportedly, I mean, I was watching a credit to Ali Gold. I was watching his video before, and he says, I don't know if it's true, he claims that we've only scored 2 less goals from set pieces than Arsenal this season.
Is that right? Arsenal haven't scored one for a while.
But it's still mad to think, they're the set piece gods, and we've only scored 2 less. And apparently, from set pieces conceding wise, I think we've conceded 6. And that's only not far behind. I think it's less than Arsenal even, I think it's less than Arsenal. And as he said, for comparison, I think he said Man United have conceded 12 from set pieces, and we're only on 6. So I think maybe the whole narrative is a bit overblown potentially about how that being our weak point.
Yeah, but I think we have kind of, spoken about that quite a lot throughout the seasons, that we're a lot better at defending them. We're not conceding as many. But whenever we do concede one, all the media is just like, oh, there's conceded another set piece again.
Narratives.
Yeah.
And I know we conceded one against Arsenal, which was an own goal. But since Kinski's come in, we have been pretty good from the set pieces, I feel. I think he's been good at coming for them. Let's look at the lineup, I guess, quickly before that we think Liverpool might play. I mean, look, it's still a fierce lineup, isn't it? Even without Trent. They've just got weapons all over the place.
Szoboszlai absolutely killed us in that 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I actually think, because he didn't play the first leg, and he was a big miss, I think, and him being back in the team is obviously, I'm assuming he'll be back in the team. He's obviously going to be massive, because I actually think aerially he's really good, very underrated. If they go full strength, obviously they could play a few other players. Obviously Quansah, I think, started the first leg. Went off injured, and then obviously Konate came on late on and got bullied by Solanke, but we're not going to have Solanke, unfortunately, in this one. Gakpo's in amazing form. Diaz, obviously Salah's in great form. So it's still going to be an almighty challenge.
The reality is,
look at that one injury. Is that all they have?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Joe Gomez was injured, but he's been past fit for the game. So I mean, it is all going against us. It is going to be all going against us. We're going to Anfield. We're going into the Lions' Den. But I don't know why, but there's just something about me that thinks we're going to do it tomorrow night. There's just something about me. And you know me, I've been very negative for the last 3-4 months, but there's just something about me that thinks Spurs are going to do it tomorrow. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I just got that feeling that by hook or by crook we might make it through. But be interesting on penalties if it does go there. I think Alisson has a decent record at penalties. We haven't seen Kinski face one yet.
I got a feeling Kinski's quite good at penalties. I don't know why as well. I've got a lot of feelings.
A lot of feelings.
And as well, Grandpa's going to be looking down on that pitch on Thursday night. So,
yeah, absolutely will be.
So we have something there as well. We have something that Liverpool don't have. So, look, it's going to be a big occasion. What is your score prediction?
I am going to go for... I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
1-1. I think I've just got this weird feeling Liverpool will take the lead. They're going to pepper us. We're going to just hold strong, and then with half an hour to go, Sonny just goes for on goal, just bags us an equaliser, really against the run of play. We just get an equaliser and we just hang on for our dear lives, and we just scrape a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go for 2-2. I think Spurs go 1-0 up really early. Liverpool go 2-1 before half time. Spurs get one back towards the end of the game, and then from then on it's really backs against the wall. We're hanging on, but we do it, and we do the job, and we go through.
All right,
there you have it. Let us know your scoreline predictions in the comments section below. It's Ashmatic and Marlon in the studio, which is good omens, people.
It is.
They usually I think they've been there throughout the whole Carabao Cup run. So make of that what you will. But yeah, tune in to them tomorrow night. Come and have your say after the game as well, and speak to them about going to the Carabao Cup final. But that is your live stream. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.